Yes, Sridhar.
See here, there are clearly it is, we are going to work out search a flight, book a ticket, cancel ticket. These are the essential use cases, right?
Essential use cases.
These are the that we call, other way we call it as a base use cases.
Sridhar, could you repeat, please?
See, searching a flight, a passenger is going to search a flight or book a ticket or cancel a ticket. These three are the major functionalities, right? Are the base functionalities. So we call it as the essential use cases, right? And when he is going to search a flight, these are the fields which are mandatory, means they are called internally, right? Inherently. What are all those? From location to location, all these are going to be part of it. And these two are may be useful, may be called, may not be, right? They are optional. So if you look at this particular process, in this, who is a primary actor?
Passenger.
Passenger.
Customer and the ticket.
Passengers.
Okay. Now let's start with the passenger first. And then, as I said, the essential use cases are search flight,
Book flight.
book ticket, and then cancel ticket. And again, what we said here, for the searching a flight, the following information is mandatory. What is that? From that is means the supporting from to date and time, location, right, and one way or two way, and finally number of passengers. And then he's saying that class and seat, and seat and meal are optional. That means all these are mandatory. That means include. Got it? They are going to be, they are to be part of this search flight, right? And these two
Optional. Extend.
Extend.
Are you clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, the second one, for booking a ticket, following is compulsory. What are those? Flight details, passenger details, payment, and confirming ticket. And again, he is saying that payment can be done either through net banking, card, or coupons. And confirming ticket can be done either through printout, SMS, or email. That means the payment can be any one of these. This is going to select what the way you want to pay, right? So these card, net banking, coupons are, what is the relation between payment and these three?
Extensions?
Include.
No.
Include.
He can select any one of these only, right?
Options.
Generalize.
Yes, they are
Extend.
generalization. He followed.
Correct.
What is the generalization? He can select any one only.
Yeah.
Are you clear?
Yeah.
Now, these are, and for cancel ticket, once you book a ticket, you will get one PNR number, right? That will be your only input, right? Which is not given, but he can cancel a ticket based on the ticket ID. Now, what about the secondary actors?
Central DB.
Flight database.
Flight database. Now here, if you now go through this, here card is there. Card is going to be paid by
Banking gateway.
bank. Third party, right?
Third party, yeah.
Net banking.
Yeah.
Bank.
Third party. Bank.
Third party.
No. Don't get confused. Card will be a third party, but net banking you're directly accessing. That is, you're accessing your bank directly, right?
Correct.
It's a customer thing.
And then coupons is where you're going to store some organization coupons.
It's a third party.
Yeah, and here printout.
Printout is a secondary.
Yeah, no. Oh, it's a secondary. Okay. Which is the actor? Printer.
Printer. Correct.
And SMS. A secondary only. All a secondary only. And all and the SMS
Phone.
Phone.
secondary only. SMS gateway. Email email server. Right. That means bank. Third party means financial clearance house
Yes.
or some organization database where these coupons are going to be stored. Printer, SMS gateway, email server. These are all the
Secondary.
secondary. All of you clear?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is FCH?
Financial clearance house. See, that is the third party, right? You're swiping the card. It is you may be using SBI card, but the guy is maybe using swiping machine of ICICI or HDFC something, right? Third party.
And what is ORGDB?
Some organizational database where you're going to store these coupons. Okay. Now, take a snapshot of this. Already you've written, but still for your understand, take a snapshot. Now we'll draw the diagram.
Sridhar, could you
Sir,
please
I-
explain how you derive the secondary actors? Like just
See, one second reactor is given directly, right?
yes.
Okay. 1 second reactor given directly. And when you go to payment gateway, you're going to pay via your net banking. That means a bank. Or you may use a card. That means you may be accessing the third party, right? That is financial clearance house. And the coupons are going to be stored in the concerned organizational database, right? Whoever is given the coupon to you, you're submitting to them, right?
Yes.
And then printout is going to be supported by the printer. SMS is going to be done through the SMS gateway. Email is going to be done through the email server. Clear? That means all the secondary actors which we have come other than flight database are born. Why they are born? Because this is the inputs are given. He's saying that payment can be done through the card or net banking or coupons. And confirm tickets can be done through printout or SMS or email. That means those are all actors are going to be part of it. Clear?
Sridhar, thank you.
Can you please explain on generalization, please?
See, what is said here? For searching a flight, following information is mandatory. Means they are going to be called in. What are those? To location, from location, to location, date and time, one way or two way, number of passengers, class, and optional is what? Search a flight and seat preference. So these are called include and these are called extend. Clear? And coming to the booking a ticket, he is saying that the passenger may do the payment by any one of these three options. Means if I go, I may use my card. You may use your net banking. Some other may use their coupons. That means a payment can be done in either one of these, right? That is, card is a kind of payment, net banking is a kind of payment, coupon is a kind of payment. That is, what is this payment? It's a generalized one, right? It's generalized. Yes. Similarly, the confirmation ticket can be either this or this or this. Clear?
Printout, SMS or email. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So printout, SMS or email can also be
generalization. I didn't show that arrow, but both are same. I represented both are the same site of symbols and color, right? So I mean that both are come under generalization. Got it? Okay. Now shall we draw the diagram? Okay.
Yes.
Now you also start drawing. We have how many base functionalities? 3. Search, book, cancel. Clear? Very clear. Please draw this.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of you draw this.
Yeah. So
Now
later on you
What
can
is
give
that?
me the previous.
I will give. Just. You take now itself. You have to draw with me, right? Taken.
So Sridhar, in this case, login is not required because someone can search the ticket via guest or
Yeah, that's
the
what.
login is also-
Yeah, login. It is not the main concern for us here. So I'm not going to take that login here, right?
No, basically, I just want to I want to add because like I was thinking
Yeah,
that there can be two actors. Like one is a registered actor, another one is a non-registered actor.
that
So
is
there will
not
be
mentioned. No, no, Aditya.
so we have to take that much information which is present
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
okay,
What
okay.
now? Your way of thinking is the next level. Again, we'll enhance the diagram, right?
Okay, then.
Now let us take a
So why we
passenger.
are not taking login here?
It is not mentioned in my inputs, right?
Okay.
Is it mentioned? No, right?
No, no.
No. I'm just only making you to draw with the available information. But whatever you are asking are the valid questions only. Then we'll go on the next level, right? Now this passenger is going to search for a flight. What are mandatory?
From
From
location to
Database.
location.
Location to location.
Is it? And these two are
Extend.
next. And then connected to the. Is it clear?
Yes.
Please finish it off.
Sridhar sir, where comes the portal? Because at the start, can we give portal?
Which one?
Portal. Like on.
Yeah, this is a total portal. We're talking about the flight database, flight portal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a system name, right?
Yeah.
Now, have you done this, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
1 second, sir. 1 second.
No, 1 second.
Okay, okay.
In seat and food, you have put it arrow in opposite direction.
Why? Because they are optional.
Yeah.
Extend.
Okay.
The person may use a seat or may use a food option. Otherwise, he may not, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Now we'll go for the second base function. What is the second base functionality?
Book.
Book a ticket. Okay. Now, book a ticket? What is the first one? Flight details. When you're going to book a ticket, are you going to where you get the flight information?
From the
Database.
Flight database.
That means what you're going to
Net
do?
banking. Net banking.
Flight,
No.
flight database.
Listen.
Sorry.
If I want to book a flight ticket, first I have to find out the flight, right?
Yes.
That means the flight details can be get from. Please hold on. We
Search.
need to get the database. We can get the flight information. Oh, wait 1 second. Let me finish. Then you can answer. We can get the flight information from the searching a flight, right? That means there is a
So that's
relation
an
between
include.
these two.
Include relation.
Now, are you clear, all of you, this part?
No,
Where we
Sridhar.
can get the flight details. See, for example, be practical. When you want to book a ticket, first are you going to search a flight or not?
Yes.
Once you select a particular flight, then only you can get all these data, right?
Yes.
Are you clear?
Yes.
So, where book ticket will be the base, search will be the called one, right? So, in booking functionality, you're calling search function. Got it?
Yes.
Alapna. Alapna.
Clear.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, then comes is where we enter the passenger details, right? Then we enter the payment. Now, payment could be either by
Card. Oh.
net banking, for example, net banking. Then it is going to be a bank. Card, going to be a financial clearance house. Coupons, organization database. That means this is generalization, right? I am using different color of lines for you to understand. And then to get a ticket confirmation, what I may use? Goes an SMS, that is SMS gateway, use a email server, and then use a print for printout. Then it goes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Understand?
So between book and search, there is a relationship you said. Is that an
Include.
include?
It is missing. Okay. Are you clear? This is a relation is include.
Sridhar, can you repeat once again? I missed out.
Yeah. The point here is when the passenger is going to when the passenger is going to book a ticket, first you need to search a flight, right? So that means in the book functionality, you're calling the search functionality so that I'm going to get what? The consent flight information. Are you clear?
Yes.
And then we are going to give the passenger details, payment. When you go to payment, a passenger may opt any one of these, right? May opt any either net banking or card or coupons.
Is this net banking, card, coupon, or include or
No,
extend?
generalization. Payment
It is
methods. These are the payment modes,
So,
right?
Generalization is not written as such, like
No,
how we have written include and
we don't write for like generalization.
okay.
Okay, it's a selection. And similarly, ticket confirmation can be any one of these because they're saying either SMS or email or printout, right? Clear?
Yes.
And now the third one is what? Cancel. We're going to cancel.
One sec,
SMS, email, and print is also generalization.
Which one?
SMS, email, and print.
Why? Because ticket confirmation can be done either this or that or that. That is what given your inputs, right? So if suppose I'm carrying my mobile, ordinary mobile, then what I will do? I want a ticket confirmation in SMS. When I'm using a touchpad mobile, can I get an email? Can I store an email?
Yes.
Then the user will select SMS. If he is carrying a smartphone, he may select either email or SMS. If he has an email. Or some people, they don't know how to use a mobile. Then they will carry printout, right? That means here they're addressing three different types of users. Clear?
Sridhar, just one query. These red arrows towards the payment and ticket confirmation, these are extend, correct?
No.
Right.
No. They are generalizations.
Okay.
See, Amar,
Yeah.
payment can be any one of these modes. That means that what are the different types of payments can be done? Either net banking or card or coupon.
Correct.
Got it? That means they are generalized. Payment is a generalized use case where net banking, card, and coupon are sub use cases of the payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar, same kind to the ticket confirmation.
Okay.
Clear?
Sridhar, why are we joining book with flight database?
Because where this information is going to be stored finally?
Database.
Centralized database, right?
After performing all these actions, this link is going, is it?
Yes, I'm connecting to this.
Disconnect.
Okay. Now you take a cancel ticket. Directly, you are going to get the data by giving a ticket ID, right? And now if you look at here, this is what the diagram is, complete diagram. Clear?
Sir, I have doubt in this regards. Sir, when it comes to a ticket confirmation, that means the database doesn't has our email address or as well as an SMS. SMS number. So
yeah, this passenger details when you're taking passenger details.
Okay.
It may have, right?
Yes, though it may have means it should include that 2 atom or
Yes.
any of the same.
Any of the same. See, in the given input, passenger details may include anything. Now
Okay.
you have a valid doubt. So what you will do now? You will have a word with the consent owner of the product. Say that where we are going to, these are data where you are going to produce. Then he'll say that these are going to be available to passenger details. Then we can draw this separate diagram for the passenger details.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Okay.
Sridhar,
Sridhar, this
in
ticket
cancel
ID.
ticket, there is no option of refund.
This is not there in our inputs, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, someone is asking.
Yeah, Sridhar, this ticket ID is included only, right?
Ticket ID is the one which we have assumed. We have assumed it because how we can cancel a ticket? They just please. How we can cancel a ticket?
PNR number.
Some PNR number. Ticket ID is nothing but
Some user reference.
that what we name it as financial clearance house. FCH stands for a financial clearance house.
This is include or extend?
Include.
Include.
I missed it.
Sridhar,
You said regarding the automation.
hello.
Yes.
Sir, you said passenger details will do the another diagram. So in this, like sub diagrams will be there.
Yeah, definitely. Sub-diagrams will be there.
Sir, email and SMS can be a automation also, right?
No, why here? Why you are going to get automation here? He is going to select it.
Okay.
Siraj,
yes.
You all guys don't forget the inputs. See, since we are, as again I'm telling, we are very much aware of this reservation part. We are getting all the thoughts beyond it. But please stick on to the inputs, what are we captured. So when you are going to work in a real time, are we going to be familiar with the client domain? No, right? We simply have to go follow his inputs. And then whatever we get the doubts and all, we need to go and sit again, right?
Yes.
Clear?
Sridhar,
So,
after
the learning mode is what? Just learn based on the inputs only. Yeah, you continue. Ask me.
after the cancellation of the ticket, there's a money refund part as well. So can we add that as well?
Yeah, no, if it is given, we'll add it.
Okay, if it is no, because you have okay, obviously, because ticket ID is directly connected.
Ticket ID,
with
just for you to understand, I have added ticket ID. It is not there in the input, right?
Right.
Okay. Is it clear, all of you?
Sridhar, one doubt can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, actually, you said like booking is like correlated to search, whereas if you see there is a cancel option, so it's also correlated to book option, or ticket confirmations. Then only we can get the option for cancel. So this is an extent type of things.
No. The thing here is, if once you book a ticket, where it will be in the centralized data. So I am retrieving that particular part using a PNR number, right?
Okay.
So there no need to be a relation between cancel and a book.
Okay.
But why we showed a relation between book and a search? Because I do not to book a ticket, I need to know the flight, which are the flights available, right? For that, what we do? We search a flight, right? Is it clear?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, all of you clear? Now, in this particular part, after giving this, is this particular, whatever the use case diagram, in this use case diagram, is this use case speaking about any negative flow? If not, are we able to mention here?
No.
No, right? So
Right.
the use case diagram is going to address, as I said, that it is going to address the functionality of a system, and in the high level, where is used to identify the requirement, and that to an actor specific. Agree with this statement?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, Here, in this particular diagram, we are only presenting the positive flow. We are not going to talk anything with respect to the negative flow. Clear? Means, do we mention anywhere if it not if the particular flight database is not available? Sorry, particular flight is not available. Do we mention any particular reason there?
No.
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 In use case diagram, we are going to present only the positive flow, or also called as a basic flow. Okay. And what are all the other parts? Means the other part of the diagram is going to be supported by use case specification, use case description document,
Specification.
or use case specification. Anything is the same. That means what I mean to say here is, for each and every use case, we are going to write a document. All of you clear? So
Yes.
this is the base flow, and for this flow, we are going to write a document for each and every use case. And we are going to mention that what is what. That I'm going to show you now. So here in a use case diagram, we are going to address only the positive flow. And this use case diagram, whoever is going to draw, we can't say that is correct, this is wrong. Any use case diagram, whatever the way you draw, it is going to be correct if you are able to properly address the use case description document. Clear? We cannot justify the diagram is correct or wrong without going through the use case specification. Are you clear, all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now take this snapshot and we'll see that how to write a use case description document. Take this screenshot. Yeah, please. See, no. The point here is, see, the example what I discussed yesterday is about the banking part only, right? ATM. So like that, if you can come up with some, throw some example, I may tell. For example, let me take that in your banking part. One thing what we can say is see, no, let's not go to that depth. Let us go to your lead generation. Is it a lead generation is a major part of your bank operations in the retail banking?
Yes.
So when you're going to look into the lead generation, you guys are going to get the leads in every month from your head office or somewhere, right? And that leads, what you're going to do, you are going to segregate between your team members. And you're going to find out the consent clients who are all eligible for which leads and all. Okay, you're going to do all this segregation, right? Then you're going to follow up that. Right. So if you now in this particular part, the lead generation is one system. Total one use case, right? In that, each and every client management, client portfolio is one part, right? And then client portfolio, in that you have a products, right? Maybe you may be selling some insurance, maybe selling some blah blah. Each is comes under the product. Like that, you're going to that client is one requirement, product is another requirement. Product is going to be called for each and every client. Like that, we go in, right? Okay. So that is totally the separate part. That such things you're going to work in your project practice, nurturing process, right? Okay. Now let's look into how we are going to write the use case description document. So for that, from the use case diagram, we are coming up with a positive flow. For example, let us take login is one use case. In login, you are having username and password. And the possible combinations of this successful or failure of login is, these are the combinations, right? That means you may give a correct user ID, correct password, correct username, wrong password, wrong username, correct password, wrong username, wrong password. But the use case diagram, what you're going to draw is only for this. All of you clear?
Yes.
Your diagram is going to speak about only this part. Are we going to, and this is what we call it as a basic flow. And are we going to address this in the use case diagram? No. Okay. This is what we called as an alternative flow. This positive flow and alternative flow, we are going to address in a use case description document. That means these are the parameters we are going to address. Like which use case you're writing, what is the purpose of this use case, who are the actors involved, what is the basic flow, and what are all the alternative flows. Then finally, post condition, what happens, how it's going to act, any assumptions are there for the particular functionality, any constraints, any dependencies, what are the inputs and outputs, what are the business rules, and any other information. So like this, we are going to write for each and every use case. Are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to write for each and every use case. This is what we are going to describe in a use case description document. For example, if you take yesterday's ATM example, how many use case documents we are going to write? We'll write for login, we'll write for financial transaction, we'll write for withdraw, we write for deposit, we write for transfer funds, we write for available check balance, we write for what is that ATM cash levels, we write for sending alert, we write for refill the cash levels of the ATM. Okay, so for each and every use case, we are going to write this. Are you clear? Now, for example, let us take up those. Let us say that let us write a use case document for withdraw cash. Are you clear? So when I go with this particular withdraw cash, what these are the things I need to address. So what is the use case name? Withdraw cash. And the description is what? Saying that the use case describes how the bank customer uses the ATM to withdraw money to his or her bank account. That is a description of the withdraw cash. Who are the actors involved? Bank customer, bank. And what are the preconditions? There is an identity connection with the bank, then it and the ATM should have a cash available cash balance. Clear? Who are going to give these inputs to us? The client only. We have to select from the client only because he is going to give us the inputs and we are going to modeling them, right?
Can you please explain the preconditions?
Preconditions means in order to perform this withdraw functionality, if what it should have, first of all, the ATM should have a connectivity with the bank, and the ATM should have a balance. Then only this functionality will be executed, right?
Yeah. Correct.
That means these are the with that, then only this will work. That's the meaning of it. Next, basic flow means if it success. You are saying that what you are going to enter the card details, you are going to enter your ATM PIN number, you are going to enter your money, and then money will be given to you. This is the positive flow, which already mentioned that. And what will be the alternative flow? Maybe like this. The client may say that one, you need to check an invalid user. He may say that who is an invalid user for that. Okay. Similarly, wrong account. He will only tell that if any particular person has, they have an account, but they have not taken, they have not done the registration and all for the ATM. See, when you get the ATM to your particular home, there will be some instructions will be given. You need to swipe the first one in your concerned bank ATM. Like the sum will be there, right? In such cases, if it is not done, there is going to be a wrong amount. Wrong amount means what? Okay, that means, for example, they will say that the amount should be entered in the multiple of so and so, the multiple of 100 and 200. And if you're giving 585, is it a valid?
No.
So like that something can be a wrong amount.
Denomination.
Denomination. Amount exceeds withdrawal limit. There are some limitations that are for single with transaction. Some ATMs allow 10,000, some ATMs allow 15,000, some ATMs allow 20,000, like that, right?
Yes.
That is going to be withdrawal limit. And daily withdrawal limit in a day, basing on your customer life, on the card you're going to use, you have an eligibility criteria of max 20,000 or 40,000, like that. That is called as a daily withdrawal limit, right? And then comes is about insufficient cash. Means you are requesting some amount, ATM is not having that. Very clear? That will be the insufficient cash. No response from bank. Sometimes when we started the transaction, we may be going mid suddenly from the mid onwards. The bank is not, ATM may not be responding because of server error or something else, right? That is called no response from bank. And money not removed. ATM for the security reasons, they are going to put some sort of seconds time. Within the seconds time, we need to withdraw, we need to pick up our cash. Otherwise, it will be considered as money not removed and will take it inside and it will be deducted. Earlier, we used to run to the nearest bank and claim it and all, do all these things. But nowadays, automatically your account will be updated, right? And finally, so like this, all these are the alternative flows which are going to be given by the client to us, and we need to address that in our application. Okay, that we are mentioning in this documentation. And similarly, key scenarios. He may say that for all this, the application should be very clear in addressing the no response from the bank. Because if no response from the bank, is it a failure of the bank or not?
Yes.
Similarly, post conditions could be success or could be a failure. Okay. And then any special requirements and all, we are going to mention that. Maybe something in that you are using a printer, or you may be using the denominations, what are the different documents and all. Are you clear?
Yes.
So for each and every use case, we need to write these specifications. And that is why use case diagrams are such a big sheet. Use case diagrams are such a big
Sir, in this case, sorry to interrupt you. In this case, as you said, like these are the alternative flows which we have to write. So can we add our points which we know,
Yeah, why not?
And so post discussion from the client approval only we will do that. But can we suggest the points?
Yeah. We are free because why they hired us?
Absolutely, yeah.
They are going to, they have their own knowledge. At the beginning, when I said, they are like a baby.
Absolutely, yeah.
They will give us some inputs and we need to elaborate that. Here, what we are doing, since we are learning, I am making you to restrict to only the inputs whatever is available. But still, your mind is not be able to accept it. You start thinking of that's what is required for an individual as a DA. Who are all asking all these doubts, you are involved. Okay, you are in the same lines of thinking. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, take a snapshot of this. I think from here you're not taking the snapshot, right? Yeah. Have taken it?
Yes.
1 second. Take. Taken again. 1 second. Okay. take this. Now, take this. Wait. Take this.
Please, previous screen, please, sir.
Okay. Now you take this and go back again. Yeah. This is the previous one. Okay. All of you have taken this screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now you understood, right? So use case diagram plus use case description document are to be included. That means in a particular problem or whatever the requirement you are addressing, both are going to be play a major role, right? And again telling that if you are drawn the diagram in your own way, and if your description document speaking about what exactly the client is required, that means your diagram is correct. All of you clear? Okay. Yeah. Now, once check your Vishal, your video is on. Okay. In here, once you capture the requirements of the client, we are going to come up with the use case diagram plus use case description document. And from here, these data means these particular inputs are given to one for the design team, other for the testing team. Are you clear? Because those guys are going to model it. Now, let's see that how they're going to do it. Okay? Our job is over for 5 till here. But
Sridhar, can you repeat once again?
See, whatever we draw the use case diagram and use case description document, that is, we model it. Those documents are going to be taken by whom or are given to whom? One is
Sir, sorry, will you please come again from start?
No, design. Don't get confused. I will not. Once you capture the requirements from the client, and those requirements you are going to model them how use case diagram, and then you are going to address the specification. That is means what? Use case description document means these two. Why we do this? We are going to communicate this to whom? One side the design team, other side the testing team. Got it? What the design team is going to do, they are going to build the software. What the testing team is going to do, they are going to prepare the test cases. Now we'll see the first part. First we'll see what are the test cases, how they are going to write the test case. Just I'm giving your knowledge of them, right? Are you clear? Yeah. Take a snapshot. So everyone got understood, right? Now we are communicating the requirements to the technical team. And now we are understanding what they are going to do. But our job is over.
Use case diagram.
By this point, we are going to done our job, right?
Sridhar,
What's your doubt?
so these use case diagram is delivered given to the development team the same way, or we'll use any application to draw these diagrams?
We use the tools.
Tools, yeah.
Yeah, we use the tools. That will be learned later. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just giving you the complete flow of the profile, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now we'll see that.
It all will be depends on tools and everything. We will make it through the tools only.
Yeah, we'll make it work on tools, right?
Because there are different projects, so we will not get to know.
No. Only thing is we need to know drawing tools. And other one is a wireframing tools. Those two will make you learn and make you work on it also. Okay?
In the previous use case, we have something called assumptions. Sorry.
Anyone. Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. So we have got something called assumptions, business rules and all. So we are not included in this, your example. So how would we come up with assumptions and all?
No, you're talking about the tools.
No, I'm talking about the use case description document. You have mentioned there are 10, 11 items which need to be included, right? Yeah. Points are right.
Yes.
So in that we have assumptions and business rules. In your example, it is not available. So I'm just asking how to come up with the business rules and
that those things we are going to come up with by the time of PRL.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now I'm going to teach you now. Yes, please.
So basically, the design and testing is part is for the development team, and we are just going to understand this.
Yeah, we need to know that how it's going to happen only for
Sure,
understand. Okay. Now let's look at about how they're going to prepare the test cases. So who is going to take it in charge is the testing manager. What the testing manager will do, whatever we have given the use case, they're just going to prepare the test cases. Before that, they're going to form a particular template, follow a particular template. The template is going to speak about the project number, who is the project manager, which test schedule it is, who is the testing manager, who is the tester is going to use. And here they write why that particular test is going to be happen. If they have any inputs, they'll write here. If they want to going to test any link, means they're going to use that link here. And then they're going to prepare the test cases. For example, here you can see here there are how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows are there in general. For each and every requirement, they're going to come up with some sort of various test data. And then they're going to come up with what the output should be, means expected behavior. That means, for example, if you take user ID and password, if I'm going to check this login, what are the possible cases? Both are correct. Right? If both are correct, then it has what is the expected behavior? It should display the login page. If suppose the client is very specific about why it is failing, so which is wrong here? Password. Then it has to display the incorrect password. If it is given like this, incorrect login. And if it is both wrong, incorrect user ID and password. So that means what? The particular functionality, the system should behave like this. That is what we call expected behavior.
But usually, if either of them is wrong, the bank page shows incorrect user number password.
Yeah, that's right. That is with regarding the security issues. Why is that? If suppose I am a hacker, if I found that whatever entered, I got incorrect password, means my user ID is correct, right? Okay, yeah, got it. Okay. So what they will do is they will say that why it is failed, it's not displayed because of the security measures. So whose interest levels are those? My interest. Here I am just giving you an example to understand how this test data can be considered. Each is a case, right? Each is a test case. So test data set 1, test data set 2, test data set 3, test data set 4. So how many for this user ID password, how many test cases are there, right? 4. And this is going to be done by whom? The testing manager. And we may be involved in this. The reason is who captured the inputs? We. So the testing manager will take the inputs from us. Based on the inputs, only is going to prepare this. Got it? Now, this will be done at the time of design. After design is done, they'll do the development part. Once the development is done, it comes to testing. When it is testing, they'll now test this CC on the original software, what they developed, right? They're going to test this. When they're testing on the developed software, they'll see the actual behavior. So for this given input, whatever it is, once it tested after development, is it getting the exact output or not? Then the actual behavior and expected behavior will be compared. If both are 100% mapped, then the result is pass. If any minor difference is there, even 99.01% is mapping and 0.99% is not mapping, it is going to be a fail. Okay. If it is failed, why it is failed? The tester has to going to give the reply. If he is unable to text the reply, what he will do? He will take a screenshot and attach it to a particular case. Got it? That is what the testing will be done after development. But in the beginning, what is happening? They are going to find out all the test cases and expected behavior. To understand this, for example, I am going to give you one example. This is a particular test case of a particular application. They are going to test only the positive test case of the login. When they are going to test the positive test case of a login, that means they have to give a valid user account, right? They need to give a valid user account. So for that, what is the one of the actions? They want to launch an application. For that, the input is what, for example, take www.facebook.com. If they type this facebook.com as a URL, then what is expected output? Facebook homepage has to be displayed. And this is going to be done when? During the design phase. Similarly, they'll take one more. They want to check what valid user account. So they'll give a user ID and they'll give a password correct. And they want to, if they enter this you, what is the output? Expected output? Login success. After now the project is developed, and when it comes on testing, they again take the same input and check the output. When they check, if they get exact basic home page, is it both are mapping? Then it is a pass. Both are login success, then it is a pass. If suppose they are not getting the login home page, that means there is something error in the particular part. So they will again send it back to the team. Okay, there will be something in the particular project. And again, for testers, if they want to have much more inputs, they will write that which browser they are using this. Something like Internet Explorer 11, like that. Where they test it. See, in some of your applications, if you go through, they will say that this particular application work on only IE or work on only Chrome. You observe that?
Yes.
You observe that?
Yes.
Because they have worked on only one that particular part and they want to use the application that particular part. Because they may have done the testing in other browsers where the application may not be supporting. In such cases, they clearly mention that use this application only in so-and-so browser. Got it? This much of hard work is going to be happen in the backend. All of you clear? So this is how it's going to be with respect to the testing part. Okay. Now take the snapshot of this. You have taken the snapshot?
Yes.
Now take this part. Okay. Now wait just a minute. Now take.
Sir, could you please go to back page?
Yeah. Taken? Now you can take.
Sir, can please go to back page once again?
No. I'll take. Just take this first. Yeah. I'll go back. Okay. Have you taken this page snapshot over?
Yes.
Yeah. This is back page. Okay. Now the next page is. Just wait. Yeah. Now take this. Okay, done. So this is what is going to be happen from the testing team point of view. Now, shall I proceed?
Yes.
Now, before going to talk about the testing guys, means the development team, let me give you some inputs on regarding the hard coding versus soft coding. Just listen once. What do you mean by
information, right?
Information only. Okay. What is hard coding means? Writing the code with numeric patterns means writing in terms of numerics. Hard coding means writing the code using the variables. To make you to understand these two meanings, let us say that if the client has 10 departments, this 10 is what? Numeric. Okay, 10 is a number. If I write the code for particular departments with using 10. If tomorrow Siraj has come up with 20 departments, again I have to rewrite the same thing with 20 departments, right?
Yeah.
And some other one may come with 5 departments, I have to write a code for 5 departments, right? That means every time I have to keep writing basing on the number. Instead of that, what we are saying, instead of 10, I use n. Client has n departments. Then what is the input now? Input n. If I give 10, that the code works for 10. If you give 5, the code works for 5. If someone gives for 15, it works for 15. Are you clear?
Yes.
That n is called as a variable. That n is called as a variable. See, when we are talking to someone also, let's say some X rupees. We say like that or not? Instead of saying 100 rupees, we say X rupees. The X is called as a variable. Are you clear what is the meaning of variable?
Yeah.
Now, here that means what? Instead of 10, I'm using a n. That means this n is going to carry, this n is going to vary from time to time. What is the time to time? If I say 10, it is 10. If you say 5, it is 5. If someone says 50, it is 50, right?
But Sridhar, you have to mention that they have to mention the reference for this, not at what n will be. What is the reference from point A to point B, or starting point to end point?
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, we may, suppose you are asked to use the value between means they'll mention in the comment. Okay, that is called a input message, means which is called a user input, user helping message, right?
Yeah.
Now, here what is going to happen in the coding part is the team means what? The development team is going to write the code using classes, and we means we business input people who are giving inputs, we pass the objects through these classes. Okay, that means what? We are going to pass the object. Means what is an object? What value we are passing? 10. We are passing to whom? We are passing through whom? Through what? Developer. Through what? This variable. That is called as a class. You understand? The team is going to write using the classes, and we are going to pass what? Object through these classes. That means which object I am passing now? I am passing 10. See, here, if suppose when you are talking to a particular client, he will be telling there are some 5 departments are there. And if I start writing the 5 departments, another person will come that, no, we have 10 departments. Some other person may say, I have 6 departments. That means every time I keep rewriting the same code, right? Instead of that, even though you say 10, 20, 30, the team is going to look those values in the means of a variables. The variable is also called as, their terminology is called as a class. And what are the values we are sending them is called as an object. Are you clear? So that's we say it is called as an object. That means what we say, that's the reason we say that classes are the basic building blocks of code. See, for example, a particular hospital has 10
Because the
departments.
value is class. You are saying whatever is defined.
That n is a class.
Okay.
See, for example, say that a particular hospital has 10 departments. Each department has 3 doctors, okay, and 4 nurses. And then it has a 2 pharmacy things and 1 laboratory. That is what the input is. If you give this input to the development team, they are going to look those values as that particular department says N, the doctor says A, the nurses says B, and the pharmacy has C, and the lab has D. They'll define them. Because if I develop the same, when I'm developing this for same application to one of the particular hospital, if I am going to develop as a product, if I use tomorrow, suppose the particular hospital has enhanced their hospital to 20 departments. Then again I have to rewrite, right? If I use 10, 20 and all.
Yes.
Instead of what I say that in the entry, when I'm creating the application, I'll ask them how many departments. Then you'll see 10.
So let's say if someone comes back with 15 departments, we just have to change the
value
only, which has been assigned to n.
Yes.
Very
that
good.
means
And the whole code will
that means the code will be remain as it is. Only the value will be changed.
Okay.
So
And
this is what is called as.
to write in a number, so it will call object. Like 10
Object.
departments, 20 departments, so the 10, 20 is object.
That is something like a static.
So, sir, basically, you mean to say that when it is in numeric, it is an object, and when it is in short
In a
code,
variable, even in a variable, it is a class. So now, if you understand these two meanings, which one you encourage?
Variable.
Soft coding.
Soft coding. So hard coding should be avoidable and encourage soft coding.
Coach, hello.
Tell me.
So the soft coding is like using a formula in Excel where whatever we enter in the cell, depending on that, the value will be changing.
Correct. So if in Excel also, for every value you keep changing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you understand the meaning between soft coding and hard coding?
Yes.
Okay, just your understanding, right? Yes, I'm giving you some sort of a knowledge on the team point of view, right? Take a snapshot.
So, see that it is soft code. We use terminologies in terms of class. Hard code object. That is the only difference.
That's the only difference. Which is more flexible and more useful is soft code, right?
Okay.
See, they said that sum of A and B is different from sum of 10 and 20. If I say sum of 20 and 20, you'll give 30, right? Again, if I say sum of 25 and 35, you again recalculate it, right? Instead of saying that A plus B, you will ask what is the value of A? What is the value of B? Accordingly, give the value. Are you clear?
Okay.
Shweta, what could be an example of in hard coding? I mean, why would that be done? I mean,
listen.
Can you recall?
Listen here. If suppose there is one program is written, okay, who are asking, and the program is what? Adding sum of 10 and 20. So the steps we are going to start is one is I'm just showing you a kind of basic start, and two is let A equals to 10, let B equals to 20, and okay, not like this. One second. Okay, so we said 10 and 20 are the inputs, and then the sum is 10 plus 20, and then print the value. This is what a hard coding is. You clear? If someone asks you to add 25 and 35, again I have to rewrite the same thing and I'll put it here and write it for what? Again I write for 15 and 25. Assume it. Again I have to write a code for 15 and 25. And again I have to add these two. Okay. And then I have to print this 40. Okay. Instead of this, what we are saying, why can't they will do what? They will write in the means of sum of A, not A, sum of A and B. Right. And before saying this, they'll ask you input A value. And they'll ask you input B value. And then say the C equals to A plus B. And then print C. Okay. If someone asks you, I want the sum of 10 and 20, what you'll say? Input A. Clear? Did I answer? So here I have to write that many number of times. But here I'm writing only one. The same code will be used for different values of A and different values of B. Are you clear?
Hello, Sridhar, can we call it as agile?
No. Don't connect to that. Just we're talking about the programming. Agile is a process.
Okay.
One of the software development process.
But the
Usually
student is also agile.
Python is actually based on soft coding.
Soft coding, not only any coding is soft coding. Python is what we are going to, why they're going to use this is, it's a high level of security. Breaking the code of a particular Python programming is not easy because it is a core level of C-based structure. Got it? Yes, Saipan.
So, just for understanding, in the note you mentioned that we pass the objects and team will be using the classes. So we'll explain everything to team and we'll just enter these numbers according to this, right?
Yes. See, we have passing the values of A and B, but the team has written in classes.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All of you clear?
Clear.
Okay. This is the meaning of. So we encourage soft code. Not only we, even they writing soft coding. Right? Have you taken the snapshot?
No.
Shall I remove these inputs? Then you can take, or is it okay?
Sir, in your previous class, you said no collection of objects is a class. The same works here, right?
Same. They're all part of it, right? Now, there is, we are working on an application, right? Now, you and I are using which type of software? How we are interacting each other? Zoom, right? Either a Zoom is an application? Yes.
Yes.
Now, if you let us understand this diagram in terms of a Zoom, all of you following?
Yes.
Now here, you, who is the user? You and I are the users, right? We both are accessing the screens, right? Or pages. Now I am presenting you through a page only, right? And your data and my data are going to be stored in the Zoom server. That is called database. Clear? Now, I am teaching this class since 8 p.m. and I opened it at around 7:30. But till now, is it interrupted?
No.
If you are a guest to Zoom, how much time it will allow you to access that particular call?
30 minutes.
30 or 40 minutes, right? That means the particular accessibility of the particular application, means the database, is controlled by the control unit. How it is going to be controlled? The programmers are going to write that particular code. Are you clear? Now, you are having a Zoom application, I am having a Zoom application. But how we both get connected? Is there any media? Is there any third party?
Yes, internet.
That we call it third party plug. If suppose internet down from your end or my end, our connection will be disconnected, right?
Yes.
So this is the front end layer. This will be the back end layer, and in between is the coding part. Are you clear? Now, how this is going to be interacted is whatever we are capturing the data is going to be stored in a database in the means of a tables, and each table will be having a data. We call it as a records. For example, if you take the earlier example of the object car, car has an entity and it has attributes and attribute values, right? So this is how we are going to give the inputs to them. Means whatever the inputs we give them, they are going to read in the names of an object. And this object is now going to convert it into a table. That means the table name is what? Is with respect to what? Car, right? And it is having one of the field called identity, that is called registration number, and another field called color, another field called make, another field called fuel. If suppose if I give a register number and red and a Maruti petrol means what? It is the information of one particular car, right? All of you following?
Yes.
It is the information of one particular car. If I want to enter another car, I'll enter here. If I want another car, enter here. That means this
So it will
car,
show in the
this
front
is
end.
the, yeah. First we have to store it back, and then we'll enter through the front end, right? And this object is going to be converted to table, and this conversion, what we call it as data mapping. What we call it as what? Data mapping. The raw information is going to be converted to database. Who is going to create this database? The database engineer, I mean architect. So how is going to address this particular object as a table means by giving this car is called as a table name. And the fields means identity, color, make, fuel are called as entities. And each and every car details is called as a records. Got it? This is how it's going to be converted. For example, you take your employee database. If you take your employee database, that means you're saying that you have an employee number, right? And then you may having an employee name. And then you're having a date of joining. And you have a basic salary. You have an HR. Estimate. Okay. That means this is the standard. What are all these called as? Entities. And this will be given some name, right? What is this name? Employee table. It's employee table. Clear? And now, for example, let us take that one particular person. See, for example, employee number is 1. His name is Mr. Let us take X. His date of joining is 1st March. Okay. And then his basic salary is 1, 2, 3, 4. HR is something like 5. And you take one more employee. And this employee is 2. He is Mr. Y. And he joined in 10th March. And his basic salary is, for example, say 90,000. And his salary is, HRA is 7,000. That means what? Each is going to be a record, right? And these are called as entities. And the table name is what? Employee. All of you clear? Who is going to collect this data?
Database engineer.
Who is going to collect this data? We.
Employer.
Oh, client.
Database
No.
manager.
We are the collecting from the client. And we give this data, convert to we give it to those guys, and they will prepare these tables. Are you clear?
We are going to give to whom, sir?
To the design team.
Design, okay, yeah.
But how are you going to present them the data just in a tabular manner or else?
No, we will give in general as a name, general as a requirement part only. Employee within brackets, these are the things will be there.
Yes. So this part, the components of an IT application is just the overview for us to understand how.
Yeah, if you are able to know what is happening at the back end, you will have a better knowledge and understanding the capturing the other requirement, right?
Yes.
See, before this slide, you have a question there, how they're going to address in the database, right? Now you have an awareness, right? Now can you just write down the database for student? What are the fields?
Yeah.
Student ID.
Student ID, student name,
Student name,
class,
date of joining,
number,
joining year,
number,
His marks, his
stream,
extracurricular activities, stream, and all, right?
his marks, his class.
So now you know how the table is going to be. Do you get the recollected that?
Yes.
Now what you do is you just identify the student database, identify the employee database, identify the customer database, any customer of your bank and all. Right? You find out first of all what are the fields to be there, and then create a table like this. Try for understanding, right? You got my point?
Yes.
Three examples you take: customer, employee, student. Already employee I gave the example, right? You may get your payslip, right?
Yes.
The payslip, can you decide, taking the inputs of a payslip, can you define a table? You can do, right? Okay.
Yes,
You take-
HRA,
Yeah.
basic
Yeah.
HRA, shift
And if
allowance, special allowance.
if a fresher, you take a mark list and define the table. Are you clear? Okay. Take a snapshot of this.
Hello.
Yes.
So there was some network issue. I couldn't understand.
What the thing here is, till where you understood?
Actually, I missed this slide. Actually, there was some Wi-Fi issue. Could not connect.
No, the point here is, here I'm talking about others take a snapshot between. I'm talking this example with respect to the Zoom application. You and I are interacting to the screens, right? You're interacting your screen, I am interacting my screen.
Correct.
And your data and my data are going to be stored in Zoom server. And you and I are going to be connected with the help of this coding part, right?
Correct.
That means, and this coding part is going to support with third-party backend. What is the third party? Now you're disconnected because of internet, right? So this internet will be acting like a third party.
Third party.
And your information, my information are going to be stored in database means what? Say, for example, you are storing the car data. In the requirements capturing, you collected this identity of a car and attributes and attribute values. But those things, how they're going to store in the system, the server, using a table, that means a table name, and all these attributes called as an entities, and each and every inputs of a particular car will be the records. Satish, got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Similarly, we can do it for an employee, we can do it for a student, you create. Okay. Now, let's understand how this software application works. Okay. How this software application works.
This is also for our
information. Okay. Because this is all needed for you. Then only you can connect to the subject, right? Here, we capture the data and we are going to communicate the data with the help of a use case diagram and use case description document. And that is going to be taken by both the guys. And we have already seen that how the testing is going to happen. Now we'll see this part. What is this part? How the IT guys, this solution architects, database architects, network architects are going to look into the requirement. They are going to look into the particular application in the means of an architecture. There are two types of architecture generally will have 2-tier and 3-tier architecture. What is this tiering means? What is this tiering means? The level of the network. The level of the network. Okay. So in the two-tier architecture, there are only two layers will be there. There will be only two layers will be there. One is the application layer, other one is the network layer. Other one is the network layer. Application layer means what? The way you and I are interacting now each other. The way you and I are interacting each other. So that means the front end of the particular application. And the data layer is the one where our information is going to be stored in the database. Is it clear? Unless you understood.
No, repeat again.
See, the way you are entering your data through a computer screen, right? This way is called as a front end. This is what is called as a front end. This layer is called as an application layer. Means the user is interacting with a particular application. And the user data and all this going to
starting.
That's what I'm saying. This is two-tier architecture. I'm talking about the application layer. So here, the way you're interacting with the application. Now, how you're interacting, how you're listening my class? Through your screen only, right?
Right.
I am also communicating through the screen only, right? This is what the front end part. We call it as an application layer. And your information and my information, that means your ID and my ID, are going to be stored in the Zoom server, right? That is called as a data layer. Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, and if anything is going to be work between these two layers only, that is called as a two-tier architecture. But if you take a Zoom application, okay, between these two layers, there is one more layer is there. What the layer is going to do is, I am going to access the Zoom application, but I can access the Zoom application if I am a guest up to how many minutes? 40 minutes. If I am a licensing user, I can access to the extent. Maybe the whole day I can access. That means the database, whatever it is going to be controlled by who? By in between there is one layer called business logic layer. Are you clear? They call it what? Business logic layer. So now how many layers are there? Three layers. So it is called as a three-tier.
Can you give an example for two-tier architecture?
Let me complete. Okay. Let me
So
complete.
what is business logic layer?
Business logic layer is the place where you are going to control the operations. Okay. If you go to this particular previous example, this is what a business logic layer is. And this is what a application layer.
Is,
and this is what is called as a database layer. So this is a three-tier architecture or not?
Three-tier architecture, yes.
If suppose there is no business logic layer, then it will be only a two-tier. Then if you take an example of two-tier layer, initial stage of Excel sheet is a two-tier, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Initial stage of an Excel is a two-tier, right? No control over the data, right?
Yes.
Right now, the current Excel sheet can be managed. But earlier, initial stage, it is a two-tier one. Now, even the Excel is also converted into a three-tier. Clear? Because when you have a control, for example, take your ATM application. Can you withdraw an amount more than the limit in a given day?
No.
That means, what is happening? RBI rules are applied, right?
Yeah, someone is controlling.
Yeah, because the consent owner is going to control. The owner is going to be controlled. So like this, there totally 7 layers are there. So totally 7 layers. We are not going to look into all. But what we are going to look into, only 3 layers. What are those 3 layers? Application layer, business logic layer, data layer. What are the other layers? You may be asking me. Something like a presentation layer is there. After application, there is a presentation layer. After presentation layer, there is called a session layer. After session layer, there is called as a transport layer. Then there is a network layer. Then there is a data link layer. Then there is a physical layer.
Is this
So Sridhar,
Yeah.
basically this other layer should not be, I mean, it is
Not
not
required.
too much applicable to us.
No, it is now this is also not applicable, but only these three are important, right? Why I gave the other layers means to understand there is any layers of that we are not required. You are not giving me a chance to complete. You are asking, you can entering in between, right? So of all the 7 layers, we are going to look into only the 3 layers, that is called the 3-tier architecture. Now you may have a doubt, why I should learn this? Why they are going to use this? Why they are going to use this? Because they want to write this application, right? Are you following? They want to address the application in these lines. So for that reason, I am going to share you these inputs. Now, how it's going to happen? From where they're going to get this particular part is from the use case. Is from the use case. So from the use case diagram and the use case description document, they are going to extract the classes. They are going to extract the classes. So how they're going to extract the classes? Just listen only. Don't be worried about it. They are using a particular architecture called MVC architecture. What is this MVC stands for? Model, View, Controller. What do you mean by model means? If you take an employee, what will be the data of an employee? It's employee name, employee number, employee date of joining, employee basic salary. All these fields, what we going to represent the means of a model. Model means what? You are just going to try to get the inputs of all the inputs of the particular employee actor. That is going to be stored in the name of a class called entity class. Okay. And that employee is going to perform some action. Okay. For example, take myself. I am a trainer. So what will be there in entity class? My trainer number, trainer name, and trainer identity, and which discipline he is, what is his experience, and all will be stored. That will be stored in the means of an entity class. And the symbol is, this is the symbol. And what I am going to do here, I am performing some action. I am performing some action. Okay, please off the video. I am performing some action. I may initiate for taking the training. I may initiate to correct your examination part. I may initiate to give your reports. That means I'm performing some action. That is going to be showcased by using a boundary class. That is showcased by using a boundary class. Okay. That symbol is, this is the symbol. Please, someone is on the...
Yamini, I think Yamini.
Sridhar, still someone video is on, I think.
Yeah, they're closing. They're closing. Okay. Yes. So the activity, whatever the actor is performing, is going to be showed in the boundary class. Now, this particular actor may be doing login, may be doing registration, may be doing withdraw cash, may be doing deposit cash. He may be doing some functionality, right? That functionality is called going to represent the means of a controller class. And this is the symbol they use. That means in each and every case, a functionality is going to be addressed by an actor, right? Employee login, customer or what you call the passenger is going to book a ticket. Some functionality is going to happen between an actor and a functionality, right? Those things are going to be identified by the actor, by these particular classes. So what happened here is, from the use case diagram, use case description document, they are going to extract the classes and then place them on the architecture. And then they are going to find out how the each and every sequence, how the each and every functionality is going to take place. This is what I am going to teach you now. These 3 steps. Okay. Once we
please explain the boundary class and control.
No, I'll explain by taking an example, right? You can understand my.
Sridhar, are you going to explain this whole MVC in a
Yeah, I'll explain whole with an example. Explain. Okay, just follow me. Just follow me. Okay.
They are who here? You mean BA or the coder?
No, the development team. Okay. Now, see, first step is what? Identify classes. For example, let us take this is what the input we give, and this is what we model. Are you clear? This is the input I captured, and this is what I model. An employee logging into a system, is it the use case?
Generalized?
No. Is it a use case?
Yes.
Employee
Yes.
login. In this, you find one employee, one actor, and one use case. That means what this employee is doing, he is logging into the system. That means a boundary class. Employee login boundary class. And then he is performing what operation? Login. That is login controller class. Now, who is this employee? What is this information? It's going to be stored in a employee entity class. Clear? So, in this particular use case, one actor, this employee is performing an action. What action is performing? He is logging into the system. That is employee login boundary class. If you say that there are one open, closed braces are there, right? Brackets are there. That is the means of a functionality. Similarly, he is performing what action? Login. That is login controller class. And his data is stored in a database that is called employee entity class. Now, in this example, in this diagram, there is one actor is there, one use case is there. So, how many boundary classes we got here? Boundary class. One. Okay. Now, let me expand this example. An employee logging into a system with database monitoring, and the use case is like this. In this, how many actors and how many use cases?
Two actors, one
Two
use
actors
case.
and one use case. Now, in these two, who is the primary actor?
Employee.
Employee. Already we had an example with employee. How many classes are derived? Employee boundary, employee entity class with controller class is already defined. Clear? Now, which actor is left over? Database system.
Database, secondary.
What the database is doing here? Verifying
the access.
That means database system
Boundary class, yeah.
login verify boundary class, right? And the controller class is single only. No need to again redraw. And the database data will be stored in again in entity class, right? So in this particular example, how many actors are there? Two. How many use cases are there? One. How many boundary classes we derived? Two. So one actor, one use case, one boundary class. Two actors, one use case, two boundary class. Next, three actors, one use case. Three boundary classes, right? Okay. Now let us take one more example. This is the passenger is going to take ticket by printout or by email. Got it? That means if it is going by printout, is a printer. Going by email is email server. How many actors are there?
Three.
Three actors. And one use case, right? So how many boundary classes I have to get?
Three.
Now who is that primary actor here?
Passenger.
What that guy is doing here is taking a ticket, buying a ticket, right?
Yes.
So passenger buy ticket boundary class. And this information is, and he is acting on what? Ticket controller class. And his information is stored in?
Entity class.
Entity class. So is it the passenger is over? Who is the next actor? Let us take printer. What is happening here? What action is going to perform here? Ticket by
Ticket is getting printed.
Yeah, that means ticket by print boundary class. Got it? Is it controller class again to be drawn? No. So now what is the next one? Entity class.
Entity class.
Which entity class? Ticket entity class. Sorry, print entity class. As you get correct. Print entity class. Now what is the next one?
Email server.
That means ticket by email boundary class. Next entity?
Entity class.
Email entity class.
Similar.
So how many actors and how many use cases? 3 actors in one use case. And we got it?
3 count.
So like that, if I go with n actors,
10 boundary
actors, n boundary class.
N boundary class, right? So MVC architecture rules means what? This is the one of the rule. And in this example, whatever we learned till now, how many primary actors are there?
3.
Only one.
Sorry, one.
Any sort of thing, any use case diagram, if you take, you should go with the only one primary actor is to be considered with a use case. See, today morning, today first hours, we have taken one example of login for job seeker and webmaster. How many primary actors? Both are primary actors, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we have to draw the diagram first with the job seeker, again with separately with the webmaster. The reason is both have their own individual rights, right?
Yes.
We cannot take it as a single because they are addressing an IT solution, not because the job seeker has his own privileges and the webmaster has his own privileges, right? So we have to keep it in mind that only one primary actor is to be considered with a use case. And again, every use case will have a and every actor will become an. Is it all these 5 rules are followed here?
Yes.
So this is the MVC architecture rules.
So 3 actors, I mean, number of actors is equal to number of boundary classes. Is that so?
Yes, correct.
Yes, I think so.
And number of actors is number of boundary classes and number of entity classes. Clear? In simple, the way you understand is correct. Are you clear? Is it the first step is clear? Now, now, what is the second step? We need to place them on the which one? These classes should be placed on the 3-tier architecture, right? To place that, there are some guidelines are there. What are those guidelines?
But why only 3-tier? Like as you said, you could have taken like 7-tier architecture also.
No, that is again in-depth analysis is going to be 7 tiers. See, when you go to artificial intelligence, when you go to some sort of depth in natural language and all, there we go. Now it is we are not going to go that depth, right?
Since you have taken an example of earlier 3-tier architecture, that's why you are explaining for 3-tier.
Yeah, all this programming part will be mostly in the 3-tier architecture. Unless you are a research-oriented kind of thing and you're going in depth into the programming. Clear?
Yeah.
Any application will be in 3-tier architecture. Or right now, people are working in cloud architecture, right?
Correct.
So here to place this particular identified classes on 3-tier architecture, these are the guidelines need to be followed. Okay, we have to follow. They're going to follow these 4 guidelines and place that one on the 3-tier architecture. How and all I'm showing you now. See, you know that we are going to, if you just go nowadays as it's happening, one of the electricity agent used to come to your home every month, day 1, and collect picture to read, take your meter reading, right? Are you clear?
Yes.
Now they are not going. They are going to used to take their meter reading, right? And they used to give us a slip. In the before, if you just go to a decade, they used to collect money also from us, right? They used to give us a slip and used to give us a money. And we used to give them money and we used to pay him and he used to give us a slip. That means we paid a bill. Like that, if the one who is going to approach our home is, we call them as an agent. That agent, in a day, he'll be going to go to all the houses in his range. He collect the money from the concerned people. End of the day, he is supposed to deposit that particular amount collected in his name of the account. Because he already having an account with the particular entity as an agent. So he has to deposit that amount in the particular account. While he is depositing, he may collect the hard cash and he may have an amount in his particular bank, right? Then he may do the payment for payment either by a card, whose card? His card, or he may use the net banking, or he may use directly pay the cash. Got it? Have you followed the scenario?
Yeah.
Once again, I'll repeat. The electricity agent, for example, he has given 20 houses and he collected the amount from all the 20 houses, and then he is supposed to pay that particular amount collected from 20 houses in the end of the day in the account, whatever he is registered. While he is doing the payment, he may pay by card, he may pay by net banking, he may pay by cash. Now, how many actors are there?
Four actors.
Four actors. That means with respect to this example, there are 4 actors are there. So what we need to do first, we need to identify all the 3 types of classes. Who is the primary actor here?
Agent.
Agent. So first of all, what the agent is doing here, he is doing payment. Agent make payment boundary class. Okay. And his data is going to be stored in a entity class. First, let us finish this actors, right? Next, what about the card? What is this? Which
Card payment.
Pay by card boundary class. And the information is stored in
Entity class.
card entity class.
Card entity class.
Next,
Cash, net banking.
Pay by net banking.
Yes. Then
Cash.
Then cash entity. And finally, what is that use case?
Payment.
Is it? 4 actors, 4 boundary classes, 4 entity classes, and then 1 control class. Is it everything is clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, followed. Now, what is the second step? We need to place them on the 3-tier architecture. What is the guidelines? 1 second. Can you remember this part?
Yes.
Okay. If you want, you can. If you remember, it's okay. Now we need to place them on the 3-tier architecture. And what is the rules followed? Guidelines. What is the first guideline?
Place
Place
entity class in database layer.
What are those entity classes?
Agent, entity class.
All these employees, all these actors,
all
right?
that.
You place it down. Clear? What is the second one? Place primary actor associated boundary class. Who is the primary actor?
Agent.
That on the application layer. Next, place the controller class in the application layer. What is the controller class?
Payment.
And see the 4th step. If governing body influence or reusability is there with any of the remaining boundary classes, how many boundary classes are left over?
NB.
3. Net banking, card, cash, right? Very clear. If any of these remaining 3 boundary classes, if any one of the influence is going to be applied, means what? Any rules and all, you place them on the business logic layer or place it back on the application layer. Let us take first one. This is one boundary class. Pay by card boundary class is there, right? Is the card is going to be influenced by the RBI rules?
Yes.
Then where it has to be placed?
Business.
Similarly, next one is net bank. Is that net banking is influenced by the RBI?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that hard cash? Is there any rule will be applied?
No.
Where it has to be placed?
Application
layer.
You got it? Is this step 2 is clear?
Yes.
Okay. And after the step 2, what is the step 3? Now they want to know how this card transaction happens. Similarly, how net banking transaction should happen. Similarly, they need to know how the cash transaction. Then only they can write it to a solution. Now, with these inputs, whatever we have said, we have collected for this particular use case diagram, I want to know how the transaction happens through the card. Then, and this is the where we have placed it, right? Now, when I'm using a card, what's the first one? I insert a card with what? I am giving the value of whatever with the card number, expiry date, CVV. And this instruction is going to be access to the payment controller class means what? It is connecting to your account number and it will ask you the how much amount, it will ask you the purpose. Am I right?
Yes.
And that 1 to 6 inputs are now going to where? The pay by card. Where once you insert the using your, for example, you're using a SBI card, you give all these 6. Then you're inserting into your payment gateway, right? What is that swiping mission? Right. The swiping mission is from, for example, ICICI mission. And you're inserting a SBI card. Now what happens? These 6 inputs are now sent to the third party. Clear? Where in the third party, some transaction happen and you will be given instruction, don't remove your card, don't use or close your operation, don't refresh something. You'll be getting some message, right? So what is happening internally? The transaction is going to be happen and finally it returns a transaction ID. Is it clear?
What is FCH?
Financial clearance house means I'm using that instead of payment gateway, I'm using that FCH. Financial clearance house, right?
Like Visa and Mastercard.
Are you clear? So finally, what we get? Transaction ID, right? See, when you go to a hospital and you pay something, they finally they'll ask you what? Your transaction ID, right? And that transaction ID is to be updated to whom? The controller class. Which controller class it is? Pay controller class. And now the transaction happened between who? Which two actors? Agent and card, right? Agent and card. Now the database of the agent has to be updated with the transaction ID, and the database of the card entity class has to be updated with the transaction ID. Then only it gives back the transaction ID to the agent. Got it?
Please explain again this
Explain.
matter.
See, the point here is once you are going to go with the means of an pay by card payment, the card data will be itself is the initial value which is in your hand, right? When you go and access to the pay controller class, that means your card is going to connect to the concerned account number. And then it'll ask you the amount, then it'll ask you the purpose. And that will be done, sent to whom? Pay by card. Once I'm paying by card means what? These data are going to send to the financial clearance house. Which data? 1, 2, serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there the transaction is going to be happen. After successful transaction or failure transaction, whatever it may be, a transaction ID is going to be received. And that transaction ID is going to be updated to the pay controller class because this is the centralized one. And where the pay controller class, what it's going to do, since the transaction happened between the two different actors, means one is the agent and the card, that ID, transaction ID has to be updated on the agent database, has to be updated on the card database, and finally it is going to give it back to the end user. So how many sequence of steps are there? 6. This is how they're going to address each and every transaction. Similarly, they'll do the same thing for what? Net banking. They'll do the same thing for what? Cash. So how this is going to be written, whatever I just now showcased is called a sequence diagram. The way I showed this is the way it's a general handwritten diagram. But how they're going to draw using a tool by the technical guys is they use a symbol like this. This is a class symbol. This is a, because first the agent is going to insert what? Agent is going to send the, what is the first instruction? Send agent card details to the pay controller class. That is the first instruction. This is the instruction. This is the instruction. And that will be reaches where the pay controller class. You can see there's a green, this one is there. Okay. What do you call the controller get activated? And it sends the, adds the value of the card account details and send it to where? The card. And here what the card is going to do, it sends the data to the third party. That is not going to be visible to the application because it's going out of the application, right? Out of our application. And then finally it returns what? Transaction ID. And that transaction ID is going to be sent back to where? The pay controller class. That means it's going to update the pay controller class. What the pay controller class is doing here, it is updating the agent controller class. That is the next instruction. And next is updating what? The card controller class. Right? And finally returning null. Agent controller class, then card controller class. And then returns null. And after this is over, it is returning where? To the agent make payment controller class. And finally, that transaction ends there, right? So it ends and comes and stops. This is how the solution architect are going to design this flow, and this will be given to the developer. And by seeing the symbols, they write the code. That's it. Now, here, if you look at that, the dotted lines, we call it as the lifelines. Means where the flow is inactive, where the flow is running. And this is what we call focus line control. Focus of control is what? Till these three are updated, it is in focus, right? That means who is updating this agent, card, and agent entity, card entity, and agent boundary class? Control only, right? Following? So it is a controller. This is called as a focus of control. And then the writing of these instructions, you can see, this is the whole instruction. Zoom in. The first word is a small case. From the second word onwards, the first character is a capital letter. This notation is called as camel casing. And here you can see there is an arrow mark is returning. That is called as a return message. And this is totally what we call as a sequence diagram. Clear? Like this, you can understand to write a application how many diagrams they're going to draw. Yes, Sai Pawan.
Sir, this is the positive one, na? If the any
yeah, like that, everything will be there. Yeah, for negative also they'll write. Okay. Are you clear, all of you?
Sir, small queries, sir.
Yeah, please.
First one is that what is the use of camel casing, and the second
No,
one for focus control?
Yeah. Second one is this. See, I'm just explaining what are the symbols of this. The way they're writing the functional code is called camel casing.
Is there any significance for that? Like, will they anything?
Because when they're writing the code, for example, when you write the C language, you are going to write all small letters, right?
Yes, sir.
That means that is the way we need to write that. That is syntax of the particular thing, if you understand in syntax point of view.
Okay. So there won't be any further use of that capital A, C, D, and in the first one.
That is a way of writing the code. But you just go and see any Java code, you'll find this.
Okay. And the second one is for focus of control. The green one, the length is different. So is there any specification for that, or
yeah?
Just
The symbol itself is called focus of control. Means here, once it reaches a pay controller class from the pay by card, it is updating agent entity class, it's updating card entity class, and then it is updating to the agent make boundary class, right? That means at a single point, it is update 3 different classes.
Okay.
That means till that it is an active.
Okay. It defines the period, length, and everything.
Yeah,
So
how many activities are going to be there, that many times it will be there, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now, the whole part, what is it? You have taken the snapshot from here. All of you? Will you place the snapshot? Will you take the snapshots?
No, we have to take it from here.
Yeah, yes. Please.
Sridhar, all these things will be, relevant for a BA or not? Because I am finding it a little difficult, to understand these things.
only you need to understand what is what. You are not going to involve any cost in this part.
Okay, because this is little, confusing and not complicated. So that's
No,
the reason.
no, this is not at all our part. I told in the beginning only.
Okay.
So
Just
this is
to-
job of a solution architect, or
Yeah, this is job of solution architect,
Okay.
database architect, network
And,
architect, all are
and
involved.
do we have an involvement in this? I
No,
mean,
no.
if the architect will be taking some inputs from us or not for this?
Already during the modeling itself, we do all.
Okay.
Now if they have any doubts, they will get back to us. If we have answer, we'll give them answer. Or otherwise, we'll get it from the client again.
Okay.
We need to have idea.
Yeah,
regarding this.
because they may, if they want something regarding the functionality point of view, then they will approach us. What is the expectation of the client, right?
Please go back to the previous slide.
Previous one.
See, if I know this, how they're working, I can understand the depth of my subject, right?
Done.
And this is purely technical people part.
Done.
So generally we will take more time to understand, but still to know how it's happening. See, now
Please
we
get
can.
back to the previous screen.
Yeah, then okay. Yeah, please take this snapshot. Already taken?
Sir.
Sir, could you please explain that again? Actually, my network was gone.
Which one?
This previous slide, then this, please.
Previous slide.
Just now moved, right? Is this one same one?
Yeah,
Is
this
it?
one.
Is it okay? Okay. Is it done?
Yeah, this is done. This is done.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yeah, 1 second. Just hold on. Yes, take.
This is also done.
No, whoever. Is it finished?
Come, finished.
Okay.
Sir, not. Can you please go back?
Yes, take.
Either before this, there was some text actually, I guess.
Which one? This one only, last line.
Before this, there was some text, 3-4 lines, I guess.
No, that's over. That's a 3-step process. This is step. 3-4 lines. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Have you taken this?
Yes.
Yeah, please take here. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, take now.
Okay.
Okay. Please take.
Okay.
Rest. Okay.
1 minute.
One second.
Please. Guidance.
Okay. Now take.
Okay.
Is it fine? Shall I go? Now take. Okay. Taken?
Yes.
Now take. Taken?
Yes.
Just take. So this is what we call it a sequence diagram. Now you understand how many diagrams they might have drawn for total application. For example, take your banking application. How much depth is there? Are you clear? Now you are using your application, say that, for example, we are using this Zoom. They have come across all the sequencer diagrams, right?
Yes, yes, Sridhar.
Okay. Now, this is about sequence diagram. Now, let's understand about this situation. Many of you have done this and you all are looking the positive way only. But here, what we need to understand here is, when you're understanding this particular, when you're analyzing this particular part, the IT company where